Okay, welcome everyone, welcome back. We'll take a few notes here today, and then I'm going to turn you loose on an assignment today. Yes, you have an assignment. It's Google form today. I think there's like 4 or 5 problems in there. So kind of warned you of that yesterday that you'd have one. All right, we're still going to be in the section 4.3, which is paying mortgages. So we're still doing that. The homework today is a little bit different. We're not doing down payments in the assignment today. We're trying to figure out the monthly payment. So it's a little bit different than yesterday's. We're going to still deal with fixed versus variable rate mortgages. So we're going to deal with fixed rates today. That's kind of the goal. My goal is to do a couple examples here to kind of walk you through what you need to do for your assignment today. We do have an assignment due tonight, so keep that in mind. So the assignment that's due today is the Google form from last Friday. It was calculating the savings you'd make if you were to make a substantial down payment on your mortgage. So remember, on every single one of those problems that was due today, you had to calculate your mortgage with the price, the interest rate, and the years, and then do it again, but after you take out the down payment out of it, and then compare. So those problems, I think there was like 3 problems in the homework. They take a while because you have to do, it's almost like 2 problems in one. And I did the example of that yesterday. So if you need to go back and watch the video, or the back from Friday and watch that video, do that. But the homework's due tonight. So keep that in mind. Now we have new stuff today. It's kind of new stuff. It's kind of a little bit of a review. It's hit and miss, but we're going to look at that today. So let's jump right in and let's talk about it. So the type of problem we're going to be dealing with is a mortgage again. So the formula for a mortgage, or a compound interest formula, is this. So this is the formula we've been using the last couple days in here. Okay, now let's talk about what these letters stand for. A is the total amount you're going to spend on your mortgage, or student loan, or credit card, whatever you want to put in there, because they use the same formula. So it's the amount. The P on this particular formula is the principal. It's the amount that you're borrowing. So it's typically the amount borrowed. So like on a credit card, it's how much money you're putting on your line of credit. So on a mortgage, it's how much you're paying for the home after you do your down payment, of course, if you have one. On this particular problem, I'm not going to do a down payment, so we're not going to have to worry about that. The R is the interest rate, and that's variable. That could change. So, and remember, this has to be in decimal form, so write that as a decimal. Okay. The N is the number of compounds, so the number of charges of compound charges. So it's like a fee. Again, you get charged a fee every month on a credit card or a mortgage or a student loan if you don't pay it off. So keep that in mind. It happens even if you make your payment, you still get a compound charge. It's when you pay it off does it stop. And remember, your student loan payments or whatever it is, they start 6 months after you're ending your school. So if you drop out, your payments for your student loans start 6 months after you're done. If you graduated, they start 6 months after you graduate. A lot of people forget that, and it's a pretty substantial payment. They'll send you a letter in the mail, or they'll send you emails however you signed up for it, whatever services. Hopefully you got out of your college experience with as little debt as possible. So you want to save as much as you can, and make sure that you are taking advantage of like pension fund and every grant and scholarship you can get. So, and then obviously T in this case is time, and that's in years. Okay, so is there any questions with the formula that we have? No? Okay. All right. I'm going to use this formula, so don't feel like I'm doing something radically new. It's the same formula we've been doing since last Thursday and Friday. So let's jump right in. Let's take a look at a problem. So let's say this is going to be what your new stuff is today. So let's say you're taking out a loan. Let's say we're going for a $57,000 home. You're going to buy your first home. It's going to be kind of a smaller home, a good priced home. The interest rate that you're going to go for, maybe it's 3% interest. So you got a low interest rate. I think they're even lower now. I think it's like almost 0.9% interest on homes right now. You should probably buy a home while it sits, if you're looking at one. And then the years. Let's go 30 years. All right. So what we're going to calculate here, we're going to do all the same stuff we did yesterday, but now we're going to calculate what the monthly payment's going to be. So that's the extra piece we're doing. We're always adding one little piece to our problems as we go, right? So let's plug these numbers into my formula. So the amounts total is equal to your $57,000. That's your principal that you're borrowing for the home. 1 plus, now your interest rate, 0.03. That's the interest, right? You always move the decimal over 2 spots. And then the number of compounds, well, it's charged. The number of compounds is 12 because it's 12 times a year. 12 times a year times the number of years, 30. So again, I'm using the formula like I did in the last problem. So if you looked back at the formula, you can see where my numbers are going and where they're coming from. The 12 is the only tough one because I didn't tell you that, right? It's always 12 because it's 12 times a year, 12 months in a year. Now, if I was doing this problem on a calculator, now again, if any of you need a calculator, I have some on my desk. So, Miss Scott, you can see them right in front of you in that little jar. I think it's to your right. It's in the pencil jar, I think. And then I have some behind you in that little office area. There's some right behind the doorway. So it's on the top of the cabinets. You'll see it's in a white little thing. It's the same thing I had when in school. So, yeah. All right. But again, doing the numbers here, so I know some of you are getting calculators here. I'm going to be dividing those decimals first. So the 1 plus. Now I'm going to divide that decimal on my calculator. So the 0.03 divided by 12. So 0.03 divided by 12, I'm getting 0.0025. That's 0.03 divided by 12. Again, type it in your calculator, see if it's working, see if you're getting the same number as me. In the power, I'm taking the 12 times the 30. So 12 times the 30, I should be getting 360. All right, now adding those numbers together in your parentheses, I'm going to get the 1.0025 all to the 360th power. So now, how you type in powers, this is the part I'm a little concerned about. It's how we're getting this next piece, this piece right here. You have to do this part first. So we're going to take the 1.0025. You're going to hit the little caret key, which is a little up arrow key, or maybe you have a key that looks like this in your calculator, or maybe it's an X to the Y key, however it looks on your calculator, right? You're going to type in the 1.0025 and then put it to the 360th power first, and then hit enter on your calculator to tell me what that decimal is. Now I'm going to type this in, and then if for everyone in the room, type it in and see if you're getting the same number as me. So 1.0025 to the 360th power, I'm getting 2.45684, and then 2.
Is that not what you got?
That is not what I got. 2.94071352. No, I didn't. I did wrong.
Can you hear him at all?
Yeah, I've heard what he said. I'm checking that maybe I didn't type in a parenthesis. No. Do you want to check your calculator? Is there any weird like menu things at the top? Like there's a bunch of like different settings in your calculator at the very top that you might need to clear out?
You got it.
Oh, okay. All right. I had me a little concerned. I'm like, typed mine. I don't know what everyone else is getting. All right. And for everyone there, Miss Scott is pretty proficient at math, so you can ask her anything. She's taken plenty of math courses at Garner and college probably too. So. All right. All right. Questions about how I got any of these numbers thus far? Okay. All right. The last thing I have to do is multiply that number times my $57,000 home. So, in the long run, over 30 years, once I multiplied those two numbers together, here's the number I'm getting. And again, I had a bunch of decimals on my calculator when I typed in that 2.4568 number. So this is the number my calculator is giving me. As long as you're in the ballpark, because I had a lot more decimals than I kind of showed, this is what I had in my calculator. You might be within $1 or $2, I don't know. So it's over 30 years, this home cost you $140,000 because you didn't pay it off soon enough. Those are all the little financial charges. Nearly tripled the price of your home because you couldn't pay it off in time. All right, questions so far? All right, now this is, if for everyone in the room, you probably agree, this is all the same stuff we've been doing the last couple days in here. It's the same stuff you have to do in the homework, all that. The difference today is I want to know what my monthly payment's going to be for this home, for this mortgage that we just took. So this is what the bank would do. They would calculate what your monthly payment is. So you're going to take, so this is the new part we're doing. You're going to take your did not mean to draw that. Your $140,000 home, right? Whatever that decimal is on your calculator, right? This is the decimal I had on mine. You're going to divide by how many months are in a year. Because they're going to, you got to pay it once per month. And then you're going to, after that you get that number, you're going to divide by how many years you took out your loan. Well, how many year loan was this? It's a 30-year loan, so I'm going to divide by 30. And that's the number I want. I want to know exactly what I'm paying per month for 30 years. Okay? So 140,000 divide by 12 and divide by 30. And again, you're going to be close in the ballpark to mine because I had a bunch of decimals on my screen that I didn't clear out. I'm getting about $389 a month. Is there any questions with that? Did everyone get that number when you divided by 12 and divided by 30? Did anyone not receive that number? Or something close to it? Maybe you're $1 or $2 off, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to take silence as, yeah? Okay. Alright, but this is what we're doing. This is what the new assignment is, right? It's calculate what your monthly payments are. Now remember, if you're taking out this mortgage, right, you're signing that agreement with the bank. You have to pay this every month for 30 years. So keep that in mind. That is a substantial, commitment that you're going to keep doing that. Now again, it's an investment, right? Homes, typically, the prices of homes only go up. They're actually instead of depreciating, they appreciate. They're actually one of those rare things that you actually make money on. So it is an actual good thing, because when you sell this home, you're going to get all the money you put back into it. So that's kind of the idea. That's why I always tell people it's a really good investment, right? Especially if you're young. Buy the home early so you're paid off. I didn't buy my first home until I was almost 30. So on a 30-year loan, I'd be 60 by the time I'm already paying it off. I've already paid mine, but mine's already paid off. But yeah, it would be a substantial commitment to somebody that gets older. So keep that in mind. You want to buy it early. Put as much time and investment in it. Make sure when you're buying your home, you're very particular on where the area you buy in. The actual features of the home, because it is a pain to sell a home. It does take a while. You have to put it on the market. You have to make sure that it's presentable and it's clean, and there's all the features and everything's working and it looks nice, and there's a lot to it. So don't think that it's an easy process just to go and sell your home. I make it sound a little bit easier than it is. So,
Daddy.
all right. Questions at all about how to find our monthly payments? Now again, I divided this one by 30 because we want a 30-year loan. If it was a 25-year loan, you have to divide it by 25 instead. But it's always 12 as well. Okay. So
easier way?
say it again?
Dude.
simplified way than dividing it, a more simplified way than just dividing it twice. Like, say you have 57,000 at the beginning, is there possibly a way that you can figure that out near the beginning? Or is the divided by 12 divided by 30 the only way?
Well, the easiest way, so once you have your number here, this digit, right, you could divide just by this number, by the 360. That'd be the shortcut. But you have to do the calculation. You have to figure out what your total is first. You could ballpark what it's going to be. Lucy, back up. Sorry, my dog's barking. Sorry, I'm just yelling random things at people, huh? No. My dog's like going nuts. So.
Lots of tension.
No, it was somebody just rang the doorbell. So I had a FedEx delivery. Alright. But yeah, so yeah, there's no easy way to say it, but you'd have to actually calculate the total over your 30 years. Then you can divide by that power, if you will. Instead of dividing by 12, divide by 30. So I wish I had a shortcut for you, but I don't. It's a good question. Okay. Not ignoring your question, but hopefully that answered it. Okay, so the next type of problem. So these are the last two problems you have in your homework. I'm going to provide you a fixed rate mortgage chart. This is the fixed rate one that we used yesterday. You're going to actually get this chart. And the idea is we're going to calculate what our monthly payment is. My dog came back. I'm going to calculate what my monthly payment is for your loan. So I'll let you guys have any choice here. So you can pick any number up here. So pick any of these numbers for your price of your home. Not everyone at once. How much? 70. Okay, 70,000. So let's say you're buying a $70,000 home. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to pick the next number. Let's say we're going 30 years, obviously, duh, because we have to use this as a 30-year loan. But the next number I'm going to pick, let's say we pick 12.5% interest. So again, it's $70,000 home at 12.5% interest. That is a terrible interest number, by the way. I would never take out a home. My parents did in the 70s. That was a normal number in the 70s. And we're doing a 30-year loan. Okay, 30-year term, if you will. So what you do is you find 70, you find the 12.5, you scroll across, and this is your monthly payment number. This is a chart a bank would provide you when you're buying your home for the first time. They'll give you the charts. They'll have every chart. Now this chart just goes up to 12.5. When I was buying my home, they charts went all the way down to almost 1% because at the time they had different variable rates. And so this is my monthly payment. So I'm paying $747 a month. So it's a pretty quick calculation, right? You just look at the chart, read off where the row and the column kind of meet up. Now, the second part of this question, because this is what you're going to look at in your homework. They're going to ask, how much did you pay total for the home? Right? This is your monthly payment. I'm making a $700 payment on this home. How much did you pay total for this home? So here's what you do. Well, you take your $747, you take it times 12 because you're going to pay it once a month for 12 months, and then you're going to pay it for 30 years. So you're going to multiply those two together. So 747 times 12 times 30. And on this particular chart it goes 30 years because you can do different charts for different years. And so the total I'm paying for this home, if I multiply that out, is $268,920. That's what I'm paying total for this home, a $70,000 home, because my interest rate was too high. That's a very high interest rate on a home, 12%. I would not buy that home at 12%. All right, questions at all about how to use the fixed rate charts and do the same calculations?
Any questions? Anybody?
Okay, so your homework today, it already went live. It's on Google Classroom. I think there's 4 to 5 questions on your Google Classroom today. It's due this Thursday. It's calculating your monthly payment like we did right here. So you're gonna have to do your normal, percents and all that, and then calculate what you're paying per month, right? I want to see that numbers divided by 12, divided by how many years you went in the end. And then you're also going to have a couple problems that use this fixed rate chart, and you have to tell me what your monthly payment is and how much you paid total for the home. And all you have to do is type those numbers in. Keep all your work in your notebook in case you make a mistake, because I know you only have to submit to me the actual answer. But make sure that you keep all your work in your notebook, so that way if you made a mistake and you got one wrong, I can say, hey, you got to go fix number 2. You can go fix it in your notebook, and then you're going to submit to me the homework after that. So if you have to make any fixes. So. All right, questions at all? Okay, if you have any questions, I'm going to post this video later today, so you can always watch it again. You'll have time in class tomorrow to work on this. So, because I know tomorrow's very shortened periods. We have like 20-minute classes tomorrow because we're out 2 hours early. So, Ms. Scott, be aware of that. So, we'll still do the same Zooming stuff, but I'm going to give you a lot of time tomorrow in class to work. So make sure you're taking advantage of that and use it, and don't just wait till Thursday because it's due Thursday. So, all right, that's all I got. I'm going to turn you loose. Ms. Scott, I will Zoom with you again at, I think it's 11:43. That's after the lunch period. So your next class coming in is going to eat lunch with you in that room. So there's trash bags either in the back of the room or they're behind you in that little office on the shelf where my books are. But you have to put there's a trash bag. You have to put a trash bag out for them to throw their stuff away. They're going to eat lunch, and at 11:43, that's when class starts. So you let them go get their stuff, and then they come back. If
do I just leave the trash bag in the back of the room when they're done?
Yeah, just zip it and put it out in the hall. The janitors will collect it. Every class has to do that. Just be aware, a lot of them try to go to the bathroom all at the same time, so just let one person go at a time. They hate that. It keeps them. They can be on their cell phones during lunch, but once class starts, they're gone. So.
Got it.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll see you at 11:43.
Perfect.